Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to B4 Live. I'm Richard Rosser from B4, and it's great to see so many of you signing up today. We're delighted to see lots of Oxford University venues signing up, thanks to Mari at Conference Oxford's publicity. So good to see representatives from Ashmolean, Rhodes. We've got St Anne's, Kellogg's, St Hilda's, St Hugh's, Wadham, Massey Institute, Science Museum, list goes on. So great to see you all signed up, and hopefully we're in for a treat today. This is a bit of a Verity. If you'd like to join us, we've got Verity from the Conference and Events Office at Side Business School. Hi Verity, how are you?
Hello, fine, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. Good to see you. So Verity's a bit of a guinea pig here this afternoon. we had a chat last week about how we could do something to, obviously a very, it goes without saying, it's a difficult time for anybody in venues and hospitality and conference sector at the moment. But what could we do at this particular time to shine a bit of a light on what are some fantastic venues that a lot of us don't get the privilege to set foot inside and see what goes on and what facilities you've got. So we had a chat, and Verity has kindly agreed to share some of the background of the Side Business School and give some insight into the facilities and your future thoughts, really, I think, about the events industry, Verity, as well, which would be good to get an insight into. So for those of you, I'm sure plenty of you have used Zoom today. If not, at the bottom of your screen, to the left or the right of the share screen, the green button at the bottom of your green button at the bottom of your screen, you've got the chat function in there. Put your question, and either I can ask it on your behalf. It would be great if you're happy for me to do so, for me to invite you onto screen, and you can ask Verity your question direct, which adds the sort of interactivity of the whole session. So over to you, Verity. I'll interrupt if it's appropriate to ask you questions during, or save the questions to an appropriate time towards the end of the presentation. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Richard. Good afternoon, everybody. For those that don't know me, my name is Verity Donovan, and I'm the Conference Business Development Manager at Oxford Said. So Richard has asked me kindly this afternoon to sort of start this series off and give a little brief overview of our facilities. So I'm just going to put my screen to share, and then I can start the presentation. So bear with me one moment. Okay, so I thought I'd just begin by showing a very short film that I had made recently, which highlights our facilities and talk about other aspects of it thereafter. Don't worry, the film's only about a minute long, so it's not Oscar-worthy by any stretch of the imagination. So I'll start the video now.
Welcome to Oxford Said's award-winning conference facilities. Based in the heart of Oxford city centre, adjacent to the Oxford train station, we offer a DDR package at a competitive price, now including a full vegan DDR. Our classrooms offer a versatile space for up to 135 delegates. Award-winning technology includes dual screen protection and state-of-the-art AV facilities. The Skull Club Room, an ideal space for networking, drinks receptions and refreshment breaks during the day and into the evening. The space holds up to 125 delegates with a varied catering menu to suit your every need. The Pyramid Dining Room. Our award-winning catering includes plated menus, gala dinners, Christmas dinners and a chef's live cooking table, which offers a 5-course tasting menu. We have a full range of vegetarian and vegan menus available. The Oxford Hive. A virtual classroom connecting up to 84 participants globally using HD screens and state-of-the-art AV. Our Harvard-style lecture theatres are very popular for both presenter and delegate, including a full translation service and dual service charging points. The lecture theatres hold up to 76 delegates in a horseshoe shape with full AV capabilities. For more information, please visit our website or contact us on the details below.
Okay, so that was just a short overview of what we offer. So then I thought I'd give a brief outline of the school. So it was originally established in 1996, and it was named after Mr. Wafik Saeed after he donated around £70 million to the school and for research into business. We moved on to our current site in Park End Street in Frieswell Square in 2001, and then we acquired Egrove Park in 2005. A further building added in 2012, which is now known as the Thatcher Business Education Centre, or TBEC for short, because that's a bit of a tongue twister. And that was opened by Prince Charles in April of 2012 that year. Now that building is right adjacent to the train station, so it's great for transport links. So even though the building is very modern in materials and very new in terms of the look of the university, the designs do draw upon modern, the academic traditions, of the university, with a classical outdoor amphitheatre, which is based on top of the main building in Park End Street. And there's cloisters inside the buildings, and the contemporary interpretation of the Dreaming Spires, which for us is the green ziggurat on top of the main building in Park End Street. So in terms of the scale of the school operations, we currently have around 340 MBA students for this cohort for 2020. This is the maximum intake we're allowed due to limitations of the colleges where each student has to be affiliated with. As you can see by the numbers here on the screen, the school is a large scale operation and a very, very busy place to work. The conference business is worth around £1.7 million, and around 3,000 external events are hosted by us each year. I thought I'd just touch upon what we're doing at the moment in terms of COVID-19 and the current initiatives that the school have undertaken. So the school has recently partnered with Oxford City Council, and I think Pembroke have as well, and are supporting the homeless charity St Mungo's by providing housing at Egrove Park for vulnerable people for the next 3 months. That's something obviously we're very proud of at the school and demonstrates many of our values. Also, in relation to COVID-19 and actually pre-lockdown, the Dean had recently announced a new initiative called World Challenges Oxford Answers, and that was in relation to tackling world-scale problems such as climate change. Although this is obviously still prevalent and still very much on the agenda, the focus has shifted slightly now, and the school is leading on ways to help companies navigate through these uncertain times, especially at the times of COVID-19 and the financial and economic impacts of this. And to this end, we've recently introduced a series of lectures titled Leadership in Extraordinary Times. These are twice weekly live events, a bit like this one today, and they are open to the public. So I'm more than happy to share the links if anyone would like access to them afterwards. It involves faculty members, leaders from blue chip companies, large corporations, government, and last week, which they're all on catch up on our website, was our chairman, Paul Paulson, talking about COVID-19. So in terms of specific conference operations, we have seen around an 85% growth over the last 3 years, which is obviously a fantastic achievement. We have won numerous awards for our catering, the venue of Park End Street, and technology at both the National Venue Awards and Academic Venue Awards, to name a few. We've also won the Green Impact Award, which was offered by the University of Oxford for sustainability, and that was given to Park End in 2018, and our catering department regarding our food waste sustainability in the back end of 2019. So our day delegate rate, which includes 3 refreshment breaks and a 3-course meal in the Pyramid Dining Room, as well as initial AV support, is priced at £57.95 ex VAT, and then our 24-hour rate, which includes bed and breakfast within that price. As I said, Egrove Park has accommodation, and over the last couple of years, we have developed the guest accommodation side through some major OTAs, and roughly that works around about 400k a year. So obviously the academic venue setting lends itself very well to conferences and events. All our support is in-house, such as our catering, portering, AV and IT, so any last minute changes are easily fixed. This makes us pretty unique within the university setting. As I mentioned before, we have our 2-site operations. So Park End is based in the train station and is obviously non-residential, and Egrove Park is about 2 miles out in Kennington, and that offers 37 acres of parkland and 63 beds as well. So that's great for team building. Over the years, the conference brand has diversified, and we now offer Christmas dinners, gala dinners, functions, and tea building activities. We currently do bread making classes with our head chef, which are very, very popular. Students as well use those team building classes. We also have a third-party supplier, which we do GPS treasure hunts with. They can be done within the school and on the grounds of eGrove, and actually around Oxford City Centre. We did a team building one, actually, the conference team in December, and it was really good fun, actually. I must point out that my team won, but anyway, sorry if anyone from the school's listening. Obviously, team building is another great way of getting back together again once this crisis passes. We're also part of Venues of Excellence and MIA, which is the Members Industry Association, and we're AIM accredited, which I know most of the conference Oxford venues are. But the Venues of Excellence is a membership consortium in which the members must pass certain criteria and have a full audit in order to join. So in terms of our virtual solutions, we have the Oxford Hive, which stands for the Hub of International Virtual Education. Again, a tongue twister, so we've now called it the Hive. So that's a virtual classroom simultaneously connecting up to 84 participants around the world using high definition screens, as shown on my PowerPoint there, on a large video wall. So the technology is very similar to Zoom, what we're using now. It has a waiting room function, polls, hand raises, breakout rooms, and interactive documents such as Google Drive that everyone can share and look at. The difference with the Hive is that it's supported by MashMe solution, and so therefore we have an on-site support throughout anybody's conference or event or teaching presentations. There's somebody always there online in case of any troubleshooting. Obviously, being virtual, it substantially reduces carbon emissions and travel costs. Another virtual solution we have is a one-touch video studio. Again, we won an award for that for Best In-House Technology last year at the Academic Venue Awards. And it's essentially, it allows anyone to record an educational or promotional video without any on-site technical support or without the need for later editing. So this system allows clients to produce high-quality videos without the necessity of external media specialists, and obviously putting the costs quite low down in terms of using video. So technology integration provided is RapidMooc. It is an odd name, but that is the name of the integration solution. And the process for recording a video consists of 3 simple steps. I can actually attest to how simple that is because I've used it on numerous occasions. And if anyone doesn't make me on my face, that's actually me using it there on the screen. The recorded video is then copied to a USB key, and that can be shared via Vimeo, YouTube, or any other internal systems. So it's really, really easy to use. We also have a live chat functionality, which is in fact launching next week, so hot off the press. And that is going on to all our website pages, and it allows clients and prospective clients to contact us. It's not a chat bot. The team will take it in turns to host and control the inquiry system. Obviously, it's a great way of interacting with people at this time. We also have virtual tours of Park End Street. There are 360 virtual tours, which you can touch on any point and look around the whole of the building. It also includes a doll's house view, so the building is put down into floors and a 3D image of the floors. And it's a great tool actually, and a great way of selling the space while nobody can physically be in the building. Also, from a sustainability point of view, it lessens physical tours and the need for people to travel.
Verity, I've just got one question, if I could just jump
Yeah.
in there. Are you teaching your teaching staff using the Hive or RapidMooc at the moment to facilitate teaching?
Yeah, so at the moment, they're trying to move most of the teaching online for next term, which obviously is a massive undertaking. And it will be using the Hive, either in the Zoom format on the Hive or using the MashMe format as well, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So our catering team have won numerous awards over the years. And I said most recently in 2019 in October for Best Sustainable Catering Department, and also another award for Best Starter, Main and Dessert from our various chefs. Our head chefs, both at Park End and eGrove, are always looking at ways to be innovative, but obviously ensure sustainability firmly remains on the agenda. So, for example, some of the innovative concepts that our chefs have come up with is a live cooking table, which I know some of the B4 members actually came to, I think it was last year, in fact, now. It was,
yeah, we did the back to front menu with you.
Yeah. So I think a couple of B4 clients have actually been to that one. So the chefs cook in front of the in clients, usually about up to 20 to 25 delegates. It works quite nicely. and it's a 5-course tasting menu. We can do full vegan or obviously 50-50 or whatever anybody likes, and that works really well. It's quite a theatre performance, but it's quite a good and innovative way to get people in and to see something different. Obviously, as Richard mentioned, we have the back to front menu, which our head chef has won an award for. So the starter is sounds like a dessert and vice versa. It's very clever, and again, I've had it and it is very nice. And recently they also introduced a carbon footprint menu. So from source to school, they measure the carbon footprint and put that on the menu, and to make sure obviously it's locally and ethically sourced.
And that's the one we nearly had, isn't it?
That's the one we nearly had, yeah. what we could have won if we'd managed to get it. Hopefully we'll readdress that in October.
Exactly, yeah. Brilliant.
And obviously, as well as our normal day delegate rate, which includes various options of meat, vegetarian and plant-based, we also offer a full plant-based DDR as well.
Just got a quick question before you go to the next part.
Yeah.
If that's okay. Are you able to disclose who your third-party team building and bread making suppliers are, for example? Or is that something that I can put you in contact with the person who's asking and you can liaise with them direct?
Oh yeah, no, fine. So for the team, but for the bread classes, that's us internally, that's our chefs doing that. And for the third-party supplier, it's a company called Wild Goose.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. So obviously sustainability, so better sustainability practices obviously does drive customer loyalty, and we've seen a lot of that because obviously this is very much firmly on everyone's agenda. And we're very passionate about sustainability at the school. As I said recently, we won the Green Impact Award for a sustainable building, and the catering team for reducing food waste. I think they've got it down to around 3% per week, and the national average is around 5 to 7% per week. They're trying to get it down to 0 as well, which obviously is quite a hard task. Along with that, I recently launched a 12-month social media campaign for our sustainability calendar. So every month we focus on different aspects of our sustainability. And within the school itself, the catering areas now use compostable cutlery in boxes, and staff and students are allowed to purchase lunch boxes in order to put their lunch into takeaway. So we no longer have any type of plastics in the building. We also no longer provide delegate stationery, which has actually been welcomed by all our clients, to be honest. In terms of pens, pads and tent cards, we no longer have that, which obviously in turn has saved us quite a few costs. The water stations, now there's Vivry water stations throughout both buildings. So eliminating 141,000 plastic bottles and 125,000 plastic cups, now the saving of over £12,000 a year. And again, that's all been very welcomed by everybody. In terms of the Tibet building, so we achieve around 70% of our heating and cooling load through use of geothermal systems. And the building also has substantial areas of green roofing to aid biodiversity. And maybe and maybe not of interest, that the rainwater is harvested for our toilet flushes. So in terms of our new building, which is literally 0.2 miles away from Park End Street, and it's on the premises of the Oseney Power Station, which in fact was first opened in 1892 and powered the city's first electric light bulb. So there we go. So it's going to be known as the Global Leadership, Global Leadership Centre. The delivery date was due to be spring 2022, but obviously due to the current COVID-19 crisis, that's being just paused at the moment. So we acquired it from the university for nothing because it was freehold from the university. The development costs are around 50 million, and Mr. Saeed has recently donated some of that money towards the development costs of it. When it is done, it will have 4 large teaching rooms, some cellular and open breakout spaces, restaurants, dining rooms, a gym, and further 121 residential bedrooms. Obviously, at the moment, it will be mainly used for executive education, but obviously our conference clients will be able to utilise this new building as well. And with everything that the school does, sustainability is very much high on the agenda. So in just terms of really looking to the future of events, we've been speaking about that actually within our team, and we believe the ways of working will change and will certainly shape future of events. We feel that virtual solutions will be in demand more now than ever, and that's really mainly because people are becoming a lot more proficient with technology during this time of lockdown. And I think people have realised that you still can stay connected virtually, and certainly within a conference. So we believe that demand will grow. However, we believe that it'll probably be more of a blended approach, that we still will have physical meetings. Obviously, for our business, we still want people to be in the building. I think with events, we always believe that virtual will never replace the actual, because people need that human connection. People enjoy that energy and buzz of being face-to-face and networking. And I think also not to mention that the delicious event catering, which usually is the highlight of any event. So I think without that, it wouldn't quite be the same. We do believe that flexibility is key going forward. So in terms of the school's point of view, we're offering weekend dates and evenings as standard for future bookings to make sure that people have that flexibility with the ways of things have been working now and in the future. We're encouraged that clients are postponing rather than cancelling their events. We've had lots of people just saying they want to move it pretty much past September at the moment, to be sure that they're allowed, obviously, and we're allowed to be open for business. Domestic travel for conferences and events, we do believe will return quickly. I mean, we're seeing inquiries now come in for September 2020 onwards. However, I think due to travel restrictions and bans and airlines, we do believe that international conferences will probably take longer to bounce back. And it's been suggested around spring 2021 before that happens. I think in terms of events for the school, certainly they are quick wins for our recovering economy. Lead times are short, and we have all the tools in place from our team to basically get back where we left off before we close the school down physically. And we can certainly fill the gaps for in terms of teaching at the moment. I do believe that the events industry is resilient. Once everyone's coming back and bouncing back, every company always has some kind of event that they need to do, whether it's a symposium, a general meeting, an annual meeting, anything like that. And I do believe that that it will remain strong and we will be able to fill the gaps. Okay, and that was all I had. So thank you. So if you have any questions, do let me know, or I'll pass you back to Richard for the moment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Verity. That was really great insight into what you're doing at the side and the opportunities. If anybody does have any questions, please do come on screen and feel free to ask your questions direct or pop it in the chat function. If anybody else would like to step forward to do something similar to Verity, please do get in contact. It'd be great to see inside some of the fantastic venues that have joined us today. So please do drop us a line. So Verity, you're very obviously upbeat about the future of events, and you feel that events industry is resilient.
Yes.
Do you see maybe venues changing the way that they look at their markets and who they allow to come in to use their venues, or do you stay it being as it has been in the past?
I think it's just more in terms of people have understood that we can work differently now. I think before that there was always a reluctance to change because we didn't need to, or why change the status quo. But I do believe that now we can work differently, and I think going forward we're going to look at ways that we can be a lot more flexible, I think, in the school. And it depends on who, you know, as always with us, who wants to come and use us. But I do believe that I think things will change for the better, I hope, for the future.
We have got a question actually.
Okay.
We're being told again and again about pivoting our businesses, and it's something that we've had to do at B4 in a fairly short space of time. Where do you see the events industry pivoting to, if at all? I mean, how it pivots? You're saying obviously a lot of the business that you've always done will continue when lockdown or a sort of a new normal comes into play. But if there's any element of pivoting for the events industry, how do you see that panning out?
I'm not sure, actually, if I'm totally honest. I just saw that was from Marie. So is she online to give me her thoughts? That would come from her. Is she there?
You've outed her now.
There
she is. There she is.
I'd be interested to know what in terms of what that's happened with you guys, Marie.
Oh, you can hear me now. I was trying to unmute it and I was talking. Anyway, yeah, just because I've been on a few webinars and I've got a couple of fingers in different kinds of events industry, not just the conferencing business. Obviously, we're a wedding venue as well as team building like you guys are, and various other things that we're doing. And we are constantly obviously our building is closed, so the traditional mode of hosting people in our building, you know, just has ceased to exist. I think the Said are really well set up to pivot that in a kind of virtual sense, and you've got lots of virtual technologies that people can access. And I think even when things start being lifted from a lockdown and restrictions point of view, certainly having the Hive is amazing, because you might have amazing speakers who are kind of getting asked to, share their insight, and they can sort of book in at the Hive, and then they're out there in the world on these kind of virtual webinars. But I think I just wonder if obviously you've been asked to present today at this webinar, so I guess turning into an events expert and kind of doing consultations and Q&A is a way of pivoting. But I don't know if you've seen any other examples of businesses having to sort of pivot and upskill very quickly in a short space of time, and kind of rethink how they're doing things. I guess it was kind of more of a kind of discursive question.
Yeah, I think in terms of obviously from the actual school itself, in terms of the educational side of it, we had our town hall meeting this morning, and we were talking about obviously how everyone's moving the teaching for this term online, which is obviously a massive undertaking, turning everything that's physical online. So at the moment, it's really hard from our point of view within the events in the school is to know how we're going to fit that in with obviously everything going online. For example, the use of the Hive will be done mainly for teaching, and obviously
there's a priority there in terms of who's being addressed first, and then
so we're very much fill the gaps in our department, which is why we have a lot of quick wins. So if we have short lead times and we get open to business in the next month or so, whenever, we can pick business up very, very quickly. But obviously we then have to be very mindful of the education side, that they need to have the resources there and all of the on-site resources in order to get the teaching off the ground and online. So it's a little bit different for us, because we can't, as a person, as a conference and events team, we can't pivot to something different really, because we have obviously the massive part of the teaching element of the school behind us that we have to be very considerate of.
Yeah, which is your main purpose, isn't it? To kind of carry that mission out as well as you can. Yeah.
Brilliant, Mari. Thank you very much. You've opened the floodgates now, Mari. We've got Isabel Barber from Rhodes House. Isabel, are you there? There she is. I thought you had a crown on there, Isabel.
I'm sorry.
It does look like a crown.
It does look like a crown.
You were fitting I was just about to introduce you as the Queen of Events, and then there you were with your crown on.
Well, listen, I don't know if this is sort of the not thing to say, but actually you catch me doing my ironing whilst I'm listening, so I'm multitasking in my daughter's bedroom. So there you go.
Even the Queen irons with a crown on, eh?
That's what I'm looking for. Put me right off my stroke.
He did that on purpose, didn't he? Carry on.
Seriously not. Since I hadn't actually turned my video on, as you well know. Anyway, on a more serious note, it strikes me. I mean, what you've said is, as we know, you are leaders in many aspects of such events and so on. It strikes me, and I think that looking towards our new building, but also thinking about the impact of what we're currently living through, the move to the virtual and so on, it seems to me that one of the things that will change, because I completely agree that people will still want that human contact of in presence events, if you like, but I think what will be interesting and what we're looking at is this sort of amalgamation of having a number of people present in the room whilst reducing travel for speakers and other delegates and participants. So it's not an either or, it seems to me. It's I think what we will be moving more and more to is having 20, 30, 40, 100 people in the room, but potentially having your 5 panelists dotted around and another 100 people online somewhere.
Yeah, it's a blending. I think what we were talking
about. That technology is still quite complex to match the two sides. Okay, that was my contribution. I'll move back to my crown.
Thank you.
But very interesting. Thank you, Verity.
Thank you.
One question for you as well. Is this commercial ironing or is it domestic?
Well, that would be telling.
I'll give you mine if it is.
Cash only, yeah. Okay.
Actually, do you know what? Since it's one of those occupations that I like to put off, I was thinking to myself, well, actually, I can do something useful by listening to Verity whilst I'm doing this. You see,
Thank you.
give me the opportunity.
I think I'd rather do the ironing personally, but anyway, listen to me.
Oh, Mari's got another question.
I know. No.
Well, there's always one, isn't there?
Sorry, I can't stop
She didn't want to come on camera. Now we can't stop her.
Oh shush. No, something that got me thinking is actually, in a way, Saeed's often known as this kind of conferencing giant in Oxford, and this very kind of commercial entity, really international and always leading the way on kind of studies of finance and wealth management and all the rest of it. But actually, I hadn't realised that you were supporting the homeless charity and you were offering up some of those beds at Egrove for vulnerable people. So in a way, you have pivoted rather quickly by going, okay, well, all the resources that we can now no longer use, how can we address the problems in society? And again, that goes back to your story and your mission of, well, we're out there in the world, but also we need to kind of be mindful of the Oxford community. And if we're, engaging all our global professors to be tackling these big kind of international problems like climate change and the breakdown of social structures and all the rest of it, well, how are we actually putting that into practice right here, right now? And I think
helping
that's
people. I think it's by helping. Obviously the school sees itself as a community, but it's not just the community of the school, it's the wider community that we're trying to help at the moment.
Great work.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Mari. Good to see you. And thank you, Verity, and
Thank you
for joining us today. And if you're happy, Verity, for us to circulate your slides afterwards.
Sure. Yeah.
Which will go with today's video. So
Absolutely.
Isabel can carry on ironing on getting you on loop, maybe.
That's a nightmare for most people, I'd imagine.
Oh, no, you're very good, very good. No, brilliant. Thank you very much. And thank you to everybody for joining us. We've just got a couple of screens. Anybody that's not familiar with B4, you can get up-to-date community support articles on the B4 website by clicking on the red box there with latest news and advice from public and private sector. We've got the B4 membership. So if none of you are B4, if some of you aren't B4 members, you can take advantage of our 90-day free trial. You can get access to the webinars and other great content from B4, free no obligation for the next 90 days. And then we've got the B4 live pages where you can see forthcoming webinars that we've got coming up and also catch up with past webinars at the lower part of the screen there. You can click on the links and to watch the video. So Isabel, you're safe be pleased to hear that Verity's will be on there in the next couple of hours and you can click that on. So brilliant to see everybody. Tomorrow we've got Jason McGuigan from Critchley's, and we've got plenty more talks. We've got speed networking tomorrow evening and so on. And we've got Sam joining us on Saturday. So, and we've got talks pretty well every day next week. Great to see everybody. Thank you again, Verity, Mari.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Richard.
Isabel. Great to see you, and have a lovely weekend if we don't see you.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.